It's your boy AlexTrainsChest back here for another video, and today we're gonna hit chest. So I know it's been long anticipated for you guys. So today the gym's starting to get pretty crowded, so I'm gonna try to make this pretty quick. So we're actually gonna do 5 exercises today, and we're gonna throw in a couple things in the mix. One of the things is something I learned from a guy named John Meadows. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, he's a pro bodybuilder, he's a beast. He's got some really sick workout tips. So his tip is that we're gonna train chest, and then we're also gonna hit rear delts. And what that does is then when you look from the side, you get that really thick look. Let me come back here, start here. All right, second thing is we're gonna do a couple exercises that a guy named Jeff Cavaliere has pointed out before, and those are gonna be 2 rear delt exercises. And I'm gonna talk about those when I do the voiceover. So first up is gonna be a superset. We're gonna hit bench press, and then we're gonna hit a dumbbell row, but we're gonna do the row a little bit differently. I'm gonna call it Jeff Cavaliere style because I don't know what else to call it. But anyway, gonna get warmed up, we're gonna do the voiceover. Sweet.
Alright guys, so here I've just got 95 pounds on the bar, and as I've mentioned before in other videos, I like to warm up doing just lighter weight on the actual exercise that I'm going to perform. And what that helps you do is develop, just get a solid mind-muscle connection between all the muscles that are working together to do the movement prior to actually doing your working weight. And here in a second we're going to warm up on the first rear delt dumbbell row, and I'll explain that in the video.
Alright, so I thought I'd give a little bit of a description on this kind of row, because it's a little bit different than just a regular dumbbell row. So in a regular dumbbell row, you know, you might be straddling the bench, and notice how my elbow is almost going to come straight back like this, and I'm almost trying to keep my elbow at my side because I'm trying to engage the lat on a regular dumbbell row. But on this version of the dumbbell row, we're trying to target the rear delts. So rather than going straight back, which would kind of look like that, we're actually going to angle our elbow out a little bit and come up to the side a little bit like this. So notice the difference. There's this. That's like a regular row. And then there's this. And trust me guys, when you try this, it's gonna hit your rear delts like pretty freaking hard. So with the weight, come up. And then what I actually like to do is I like to let the weight hang pretty low. Like I almost relax my shoulder a little bit so that I put the rear delt in an optimal stretch to the top.
Alright guys, so here I'm just doing a second warm-up set on bench press, and I primarily decided to do a second warm-up set because my shoulders were feeling a little bit tender, you know, so I just really wanted to be sure that I'm getting the right bench press form. So here's 135 pounds, and this is just a quick warm-up set. I think I just did like 5 or 6 reps.
Alright, so we're going to get into the first working set on bench press, and right now I have 135 plus 20 is 155, so I got 155 on there. Now one thing I want to comment on is personally, like, I actually cannot bench that much weight, but chest is probably like one of my best body parts, and all that to say, like, you know, you don't need to be pushing like extreme weight in order to get good hypertrophy and like good muscle definition in your chest. And there's a lot of different ways that you can up the intensity in order to build that muscle without just like having to slam on a bunch of weight. Because like I actually have a shoulder injury that's been bothering me for like a super long time, so I can't like even bench that much. But we're gonna do a technique right now that I like to just call light, heavy, light. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit this weight, and we're gonna go to pretty much failure. I mean, I can't go to failure right now because I don't have a spot. Like, I can't go to complete failure. But we're pretty much gonna go to failure. And then we're actually gonna put the 25 pounds, we're gonna take the 10s off and put on a set of 25s So that's gonna bring it up to 175, and then we're gonna hit that for as many reps as we can. Drop the 25s off, put the 10s back on, do that for as many reps as you can. And trust me, if you guys are doing this right, you're hitting your chest on bench, man, you're gonna blow your chest out this week.
Alright, so let's speed up the video for you guys a little bit. There's two things I want to talk about with bench press. One is that I like to put my arms a little bit closer together, and the reason for that is because for me that gives me a really good chest contraction when I'm at the top of the rep. And the second thing I want to comment on is your shoulders. So you should always be trying to kind of retract your shoulders back on bench press, so that way you maximize how much you're using your chest, and you're kind of limiting the amount that you're using your front delt. And believe me, I have overused my front delt before on bench press, and this has led to significant shoulder injury for me before, significant shoulder impingement that took a very long time to heal. So here, just doing the dumbbell row. On the dumbbell row, I tend not to go to absolute failure. And sometimes I will go to failure on other rear delt exercises, but I've found with the dumbbell row, sometimes like if you're trying to go to complete failure and you start shortchanging reps, you start involving your lower back a lot more than you might want. So, you know, that is also another thing that can lead to injury. So here, just getting into the second set of bench press. And you'll notice I think I only got 2 reps of the heavy weight, and that's okay. You know, the point is that you're getting in good reps and you're extending the set as best as possible and keeping it intense. All right, so just messing around a little bit there. Alright, so this is the second set of the rear delt dumbbell row, and for this particular set I think I also got 13 reps on each arm. And you know, it's arguable that I probably could have increased the weight maybe to a 60-pound dumbbell and done a few less reps and made the exercise a little bit harder, but you know, rest assured, if you guys are doing this at home, the next rear delt exercise we're about to do is pretty challenging. So here's the third set of bench press, and I want to talk to you guys about something in the video here that I think is important.
So I saw that I could really only get like 1 good rep with 25s on now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 25s off and put on a 15. So it's still going to be heavier than our lightweight, but obviously not quite as light. And this is just one of those techniques that you can use to extend the set, because, you know, a lot of times if you only get like 1 good rep out, you're not really maximizing like the amount of stretch and the amount of hypertrophy you can get in the chest. So anyway, we're gonna drop it really fast.
So just to kind of make that more of a complete thought, you know, again, the whole purpose of the, you know, light, heavy, light set style is to kind of extend the set, intensify the set, and keep the time, improve the time under tension, basically, you know, without injuring yourself, essentially. And you'll notice I didn't even put the 10s back on in that last set, for the reason that I knew that, you know, if I really tried to push excessively hard, I was, you know, probably going to do some damage to my shoulder. And that, you know, that's another important thing about these workouts, is they're intended to be quick and intense. And, you know, it's important to just kind of leave your pride at the door and just say, you know, I'm going to have a good intense workout no matter how much weight I'm lifting.
All right, nice. We're done with the first part of the workout. So again, that first part was bench press supersetted with Cavaliere dumbbell row. On the bench press, we did a light, heavy, light thing, and then on the dumbbell row, we just hit a good, you know, 10 to 15 reps. So now we're gonna go into the second part of the workout, and that's gonna be a cable face pull through, supersetted with incline dumbbell press. And the incline dumbbell press is probably my absolute favorite chest exercise. I don't know why, it's just when I get the dumbbells and I can squeeze together at the top, I just really feel this amazing chest contraction. So when we do that, we're actually gonna do a light, heavy light sequence as well. So let's head over there.
Okay, so first set of incline dumbbell press. Again, this is my favorite, absolute favorite chest exercise. I started off with the 50-pound dumbbells for the lightweight, and then we're going to jump up to the 60-pound dumbbells for the heavyweight and back down to the 50s to complete the set. Normally, you know, I might actually do a little bit heavier weight on this exercise, maybe 60s, 70s, 60s, possibly even 65, 75, 65. But I wasn't feeling, you know, incredibly strong today, and my shoulder was kind of bothering me, so I decided to do this weight. But this was still, you know, a really challenging workout for me, and I think I got like a good 8 reps of each thing, so that's good.
Okay, so just got through the first set of incline dumbbell press, and now we're gonna go into the cable kind of cross pull through. And here's the key with this exercise, and you should definitely watch Jeff Cavaliere's video on this because he's like a training genius. But with this exercise, so there are 2 parts of it that are important. One, we're gonna get that deep stretch at the bottom. Notice how my arms are crossed because we're gonna grab opposite cables and opposite hands. As we come back, we're using the rear delts. Now, watch my thumbs. See how my thumbs point straight backwards? And I'm really like trying to focus on contracting my delts and my back. So that's an important part. So if you watch Jeff's video, you'll find that the rear delt's not only responsible for moving the arm behind the body, but also for bringing the shoulder into, I think this is external rotation. I don't know, don't quote me on that. But anyway, so you want to have your thumbs pointing back, elbows at about shoulder level, and that's really going to get you the best rear delt contraction.
Alright guys, so here we're getting into the first set of the, I guess it's like kind of like a cable, rear delt cable face pull. Man, if you try these out, these are a really challenging exercise, and I don't have to do a ton of weight on that exercise to, you know, really get good rear delt like pump after only like, you know, 8 to 10 reps. So here we're going into the second set of incline dumbbell press, and one thing that you can really see in these camera shots is like, if you look at the top of the rep, you can see that like I almost get a little bit of like cleavage in like my chest, and that's actually because not only am I going through the, you know, full range of motion of the chest, but at the very top of the rep, I'm literally trying to push the dumbbells together. I'm trying to push my fists together so that I really get that extreme chest contraction. And that's part of the reason why that exercise is like one of my absolute favorites, because I can just really feel that contraction at the top. I mean, you can do the same thing with the cable machine, but it feels a lot better when the dumbbell's kind of pushing down on you. Alright, so second set of cable face pulls. And you know, one thing that's worth mentioning is while I was in the middle of this workout, a buddy of mine actually came by and started talking to me. He was asking me what I was doing. I told him I was filming, etc. Anyway, he said, hey, you know, doesn't climbing work your rear delts? And I said, well, yeah, it absolutely does. But what I explained to him was, I personally think that rear delts are one of the more challenging muscles to get a good mind-muscle connection with, meaning when you're actually doing the rear delt exercises, or let's say you're on the climbing wall, you're climbing, it has always been historically like hard for me to kind of flex my rear delt when I'm climbing, and it wasn't until I started doing a lot of these isolated rear delt movements that I really started being able to activate my rear delt when climbing. And I think that that has been of extreme value to me. So if you guys are trying to train for climbing strength, definitely do rear delt exercises and focus on what it feels like to contract that muscle. And I promise you, you know, once you get on the wall, you're gonna see a big difference in your climbing ability just from doing these exercises.
Oh man, those rear delt exercises are fucking hard. So I gotta try them out. All right, so 3 rounds, incline dumbbell press, cable rear delt things. And now we're gonna go into the last exercise of the video. And that's just gonna be a simple cable fly. And we're gonna do these relatively low weight, high reps, just to get a good final pump in there. And then we'll conclude the video. So cool, thank you guys for watching. All right guys, so if you have a cable machine like this at your gym, which are very common, so you probably do. So what we're gonna do is, so I have the this arm right here. It's right now set at 5, and the thing can pivot like kind of like this way, like a door. That's set at number 7. And the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna start at 5. We're gonna crank out as many reps as we can, and then we're gonna go down to setting level 7. So first the cable's gonna be kind of going down, then the cable's gonna be kind of going straight like this, and then we're gonna finish with the cable coming up like that. So that's gonna be setting number 5 to setting number 7 to setting number 9. We do that continuously. We rest for a maximum of 90 seconds. We do that again, and we're gonna try to do that 3 times. And yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, so first set of cable flies. So I want to talk about one thing here, which is some people might say, you know, why do you vary the position of the cables? I thought that, you know, the chest contracts all at once, so the position of the cable shouldn't matter. And I know this is a topic of debate as to like whether or not you can target your upper chest versus your lower chest, you know, versus the middle of your chest, or even like the striations, like in the center of your chest, kind of where your sternum is. And I encourage you guys to try out this sequence of movements because it really allows you to feel the different areas of the chest that are contracting. And you know, I would say, based on just, you know, my experience doing these exercises right here, you definitely can specifically target like certain areas of your chest. And let's say I was to just set the cables at kind of the horizontal position like you see right now. I personally don't think that I would have as good chest development if I was like only to do that. So that's important. And the last thing I want to note is when I'm at the full range of motion of the rep, I am actually literally squeezing my fists together to really, really drive in that chest contraction at the end of the rep there.
All right, guys, let's take a look at some of the hard work.
All right, more screwing around there. But the final thought I want to leave you guys with on the cable machine is depending on how far away you stand from the machine, you can make it so that like the full range of the cable on the back end doesn't like pull your shoulders back. And that's kind of nice, you know, relative to say the dumbbell or the bench press, where like particular with the dumbbells, you know, like if you're going to failure and then you come down, you know, they're going to push your arms like kind of so your elbows go behind your body, and it puts your shoulder in kind of like a sketchy stretch. So that's just the nice thing about the cable machine. Last final thought.
All right, guys, there you have it. Chest, rear delts. 5 exercises. Workout probably took about 50 minutes. Although, honestly, it probably could have gone a little bit faster if I wasn't filming. So that means that when you guys do it, you guys got to push extra hard, see if you can beat that time. All right, so we did bench press. We did a light, heavy light. We supersetted that with a dumbbell row, focusing on the rear delt. So instead of bringing your elbow to your side and behind your body, you kind of bring your elbow out behind your body. Really hit the rear delt back here. We moved the bench over out of the way. We did incline dumbbell press. We did a light, heavy light on that. Supersetted with some cable pull-throughs. Again, really trying to target the rear delt. And then finally finished off the chest with some cable flies in 3 different positions. So kind of supersetting between 3 different positions. And that should get you guys pumped, man. Get you a good workout, get you sore. And now it's time for me to wash up, put the camera away, jump on the climbing wall. So we're getting big this summer, guys. Peace.